Record. Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 275 of LOLA Podcast. It is I, your host, Wise Papa Smurf. We are bringing you this week a special episode of LOLA with 50% more handsome because as we have it, a host has returned to the podcast. The prodigal child has escaped from what I assume to be a Burmese prison and come back to Lola Podcast.
Under a
Welcome
sea
back.
lion?
No, the other one. Wormlax is back.
Another one in prison.
Yeah,
Got
no.
it.
The better looking one.
Yeah,
I see.
I said 50% more handsome. You see,
Mm-hmm.
50% less lens flare. Got it.
right?
Let's go.
Thank you for that charming introduction. I am very handsome. I'm glad someone's realizing it. I'm also humble, so I'd like to bring that to the podcast.
Yeah. Well, you have an unassuming
It's been
face.
needed for a long time. So
You know what I mean? Like you have one of those like unassuming faces where I'd look at you and I would think, "There's no way this guy's gonna cannibalize my flesh."
Well, you might be wrong about that one.
And
but-
that's how you get them.
yeah,
You know,
exactly,
I mean, that's how
know?
you get them. It's like
Offer
that, and then
security, offer him to a barbecue.
chloroform
Suddenly,
rag.
barbecue. It's kind of
Yeah.
smelling weird, and this is
Yeah.
getting out of hand. Why do I need a wrist tie for a barbecue?
Yeah, it's to get in and out. You know, like you get your wrist stamped. That's what you tell
Yeah,
them.
yeah, exactly.
And now I've become an accomplice. All right, so welcome back, buddy. It's been a
Thank
long
you.
time. It's been a long time.
It's
So
good
what
to
have
be
you
back.
been doing?
Sucking at League of Legends.
All right.
same.
Working, but then not working at all because quarantine. I live in Michigan, so one of the worst states for all this stuff going down. So yeah, I have been doing absolutely nothing for the past 2 months, which is giving me a lot of time to play ranked and find out that yeah, I still suck at League of Legends. So
All right.
yeah, really reaffirming that notion in my head.
Cool. So Zill,
Yeah.
welcome to the podcast again.
Thank you. I was on it when you weren't looking.
Yeah, so Zill snuck away, recorded a solo episode a la Wise Papa Smurf style, and I'm sure it went over super well, and the fans love it. So that's why I'm bringing you back for a double dose of that Zill.
Woo!
Dropping the
Glad to be
double
here.
D.
Really happy to be here.
Well, awesome.
I
So
have an announcement to make real quick.
yeah, shoot.
If that's all right.
Yeah.
All right. So there is a LOLA tournament happening. It's probably the last podcast episode. We can get this out before it actually starts. But yes, there is a LOLA ARAM tournament happening. It's a round robin format. It starts June 1st, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time or Central Daylight Time, whatever time zone we're on. It's Central. And you should be there for that. It's normally when community games kind of start, right? Except it's an hour early. So we can get all the games of the tournament in one night without everyone staying up too late. So that's how it's going to go down. Sign up. There's a form in the announcement section, and I've spammed it many times in the general section of our LOLA Discord. So look for that there.
All
There's
right.
also a very special question at the end of that sign up form, which asks something very specific and personal about Wise Papa Smurf, which I really do need the data on. So please go fill that out.
I actually already submitted a form with the correct answers on it in the general chat.
I got the correct answers.
I don't know if you
I
saw.
need to know what the people say. I need
Yeah.
to know what the people think about this issue.
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't put another like thing. It's like, this is uncalled for. He's a nice man. Let's see how many people check that.
0%.
No
That's about
people.
remember all of your excuses.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
even check that box. So, I mean, I don't really have a lot of hope for that one.
Actually, I did have one that said you were a nice guy. I said you were making room for the other folks
Oh,
who
right.
had never tasted Diamond before.
Right.
Oops, that's a spoiler as to what the question is.
It's my
But
generous. Yeah, it's my
Oh, it's-
generous soul is what it is.
I checked one that was kind of middle of the roll. It was still your fault, but like still against you.
Oh, it's a multiple checkpoint thing, too. So, like,
Yeah,
oh,
you
I
can
did
check
that
all the
one.
boxes. Yeah,
That's how
no,
you-
it's one or many.
I only did
You know.
one. I feel like I wasted so much potential now.
You did.
You
It
did.
wasn't
Man.
multiple choice.
There was a lot of flame you could have picked there, but you only went with a match.
expect a handwritten letter with all the reasons I will flame you, Blake, later this month.
Perfect. That's a good idea.
You can submit it to the forum
If you
later.
submit it to the podcast in the podcast feedback channel, I'll read it live.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So anyway, we have a quick PSA for you guys. For all you people out there, if you see League of Legends posted online, do not download it. It will install a virus on your computer called League of Legends, and if you run it, it will launch League of Legends.
Wow, that is a terrible virus. You know, I got that virus like 8 years ago, and it's still affecting me today, 8 years later.
And
so
now
it's a serious virus.
Yeah. And now you're sterile.
Yeah.
Well, let's not put that on, ladies. I'm not sterile. I'm not sterile. Okay.
He's very potent at League of Legends, and not at sex. Yeah.
You're a good thing these days. I mean, who wants to have a kid in a pandemic? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong, but
I'll try it. I just tried to do it, but we almost recorded the podcast late because I was that close. Just saying.
Well, shoot.
We might have had to
postponing.
We might have had to push this thing back by 3 minutes.
That seems generous.
Yeah. Well, I drank a Red Bull earlier.
One of the check boxes with that question.
Yeah. No, I drank a Red Bull earlier. I feel like I got that before I just give up. Yeah. So anyway, all right, guys. ARAM tournament, do sign up. There is a kicker rule because we've had shenanigans played with subs. Like, oh no, Zill, we can't find somebody, but my diamond friend will play on our team. Like, no, he fucking won't. A silver will play on your team, regardless of who didn't show up.
I'm glad you approved this rule, Blake.
No, that is a great fucking rule. No ringers. Cut that shit out. It kills competition, and it makes Astros cry. So I don't want that.
I don't want that either. But yeah, new rule is just to be clear, if you have a person who doesn't show up on your team, then you get a bronze or a silver below player. You do not get to put a gold player on your team. Doesn't matter if the person you lost was master tier. You get a silver player in return, maximum.
That's what we call
penalty for not talking to your people and making sure they show up on time for the fun event for everybody.
Yeah, that's the it sucks for you. Absolute. It's it sucks for you rule. That's what.
Yeah, sucks for you.
So,
and it's ARAM.
I like that rule.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thought of it myself.
Fucking amen. So, anyway, that being said, we are all out of announcements and PSAs, right? You guys don't have any others? We brought back Wormlax. He's still good. Zill's ARAM tournament. We're all right. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Okay, so this week I have 2 surprises for you. One of which I will have to go get because I just remembered. And then the other one, we're going to talk about, I referred to it before as tempo plays, but Double Sniffed has an entirely different definition of tempo. So I'm going to call it timing-enabled advantages because I think that sounds good. It's T.
T-E-A or T-A?
Yeah. It's T.
Okay.
Yeah. Time to drink the tea.
So in other words, you got a double kill bot lane. Let's have a Boston Tea Party at Dragon. Yeah?
That's bad. That's bad. It's good that it's bad, but it's bad.
So bad that it's amazing. And I taught the kids something, so we now qualify officially as an educational podcast.
About time.
Yeah. The kids aren't going to school. They might as well learn some shit from us. You're welcome, parents. Ignore all the cursing
about homeschooling, I will say.
Yeah, ignore all the cursing and blasphemy, but you did get a Boston Tea Party reference. So, even? Feels fair.
I mean, if your kids are rambunctious, they're annoying you while they're not at school, just throw on the little podcast.
Have them install the virus on their computer.
Yeah. It'll keep them busy for hours. There's no repercussions for starting someone out early on an addictive thing like that. None at all.
Well, I mean,
start them out. Get them going.
I just want everybody to know, this is not a sexually transmitted disease. You're not having sex. Let's be real. It's just not
Although
happening.
COVID-19 is, so I hear these days.
It will keep
Yeah.
your kids out of trouble in high school for a long time. Trust me, I played a lot of video games in high school. I didn't do shit. I was a good kid.
So, yeah, from what I've also found out, COVID is transmitted by looking at each other, by standing in the general vicinity. I mean, it doesn't matter. You're just going to get that shit. So,
Damn.
I had to take my kid to a doctor's appointment because he has, like he had ear infections growing up, right? And it like fucked up his hearing a little bit, and he had to get tubes put in. It was a big mess. And now he's got like a bit of a speech impediment. So we had to get him put the tubes in to drain the shit out of his ears so he could hear sounds right. And that's really helped his speech, and he's talking a lot more normal, but you still can't understand a lot of what he says. So we had to go to the audiologist to make sure that his hearing is good. It is, by the way, so this isn't like a downer thing.
Nice.
We don't have to go to the audiologist anymore.
Yay!
But walking into a hospital in Springfield was a genuinely terrifying experience. They like waved a bunch of devices at me and him. He had no idea what the hell was going on. I had to promise him stickers to stand still so they could like check his temperature. And then I walk in and like I'm in rural Missouri. We've had 6 total cases. Nobody here does the stuff that we're supposed to do except like the socially distancing thing they do, but like there's no like wearing of masks. People aren't shaking hands. People are doing social distancing, but they're not like everybody's in like hardcore viral outbreak mode, right? We're in diet COVID mode, right? So it's like, yeah, we kind of stay apart, don't touch each other, don't lick faces, whatever you got to do to not
Don't lick faces.
Well, I mean, it's been a rough social
It is
past
a
couple
thing
of
that
months.
human beings do, Wormlax. You should know, of all people.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
that sounds like a
Wormlax
weird Missouri thing. I don't know if I do that.
Wormlax refers to it as a tasting. So you know what I just realized? Nobody who hasn't watched this show for like 60, 70 episodes will have any idea why we're referring to him as a cannibal.
Yeah, that's going to be a new one for everybody.
It is actually a very small...
There you go. Keep rolling.
Yeah. So
they'll pick it up as
they'll pick it up.
We don't need to explain it.
There's go ahead. Why not explain it?
Yeah, no context.
Don't look in his freezer. So, anywho, so it's just everybody's kind of staying apart, doing the thing, whatever. And I walk in, and I'm like, yeah, I'm here for the doctor's appointment. I look around the room, and literally everybody is wearing a mask. For the record, I ordered a mask on Amazon. It's a black face mask, has a little vent on it, has a it had a kick-ass mustache on it.
Oh, okay, sure.
So it was like one of those, had a kick-ass mustache on it. And then I also ordered the Kakashi face cover with the leaf thing. The leaf ninja headband with the face cover like Kakashi. That was also going to be my COVID mask.
Right? Very formal.
Well, I have a formal and an informal one, right? You can't wear Kakashi
to your ninja meetings.
You can't wear Kakashi to court, but you can wear him to the doctor's office.
True.
They're being judged for being there anyway. You might as well. So
look at that.
Yeah, my mask didn't come in or whatever, so I didn't have anything, and Mick doesn't have anything. But I look around, and literally everybody in there is like all messed up and like looks like they're, there's a sarin gas attack or something. And like my kid was like, all right, and the lady's like, are you wearing a mask? And I looked at her and I go, yes. And she's like I can't do the face right because she's like, oop. But obviously you are not. And I'm like,
yeah.
Do you have a mask? And she's like, oh yeah, here, and hands me like a couple of these disposable masks. So I'm like, oh sweet, thank you. And I put one on, and that's cool because I don't want to, transmit anything to anybody. I just don't have one. Like I tried, and my order got canceled because they went everywhere else. Right? So cool. Didn't have one. And then I go to put one on my kid. He freaks the fuck out because he's 4. You know, he has no idea what the hell is going on. It looks like I'm trying to
Right.
like smother him from his point of view. So he's like not having it. And him not having a mask caused him to run screaming around the room without a mask on. And I have never seen so many terrified people look at a 4-year-old like he is the bringer of doom. Like, I got the same reaction as Indiana Jones got staring at that fucking boulder, right? It was like,
that is impending doom
Yeah.
coming right at us.
and I'm just sitting there going like, guys, it's cool. He's 4. He's been quarantined since this whole thing. Like, he hasn't left the house. He's good. But I'm trying to get the mask on him. He won't stand still. Plus, the mask is really about not, you know, it's not about getting, it's about not giving.
Not
and
giving,
yeah,
right.
I was like, I'm trying. This is cool, but he's freaking the fuck out.
He's 4.
And
Yeah.
he's 4.
And you're in a doctor's office. Like, you're
Yeah.
gonna be exposed, kids. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I
it's
can't
okay.
help. Yeah, I can't help. I got so many dirty looks. This old lady literally looked at me like she was going to reach in her purse for mace. Right? It was not a good
Yikes.
deal. And then after I was talking to my wife about it, my kid came back. I was like, oh, yeah, it's a good doctor's appointment. He passed. Everything's good. His hearing's great. So he should be progressing, and that's all good. And she's like, oh, that's cool. And I go, and I also realized that this activity right here is like my most likely to get COVID moment.
Yep.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
It's
for
like
sure.
balls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
going into any kind of medical place. I mean, even before like COVID happened, the most likely place you are to get sick is going into a
Yeah, the
hospital.
doctor's office, right?
Yeah.
Hospital, because that's for sick
Yeah.
people, whatever. But so this is the crazy thing. Like Springfield and Kansas City and St. Louis were like the 3 kind of hot spots. Springfield was actually first, which is weird, right? And I don't know why that is. I assume it's because they're
dirty
close to
thing.
Fayetteville, and Fayetteville, like Walmart executives go everywhere and come back to Fayetteville and whatever. So maybe
Oh,
that was a
okay.
point of contact. But like Greene County and Springfield had the first cases. And so they have been in like a crazy mode of hysteria for like forever now. Like they've been locked the fuck down, like hard. Like,
Mhm.
all the major urban areas have. And there are people driving with masks on. Like just driving. I'm like, you are alone in your car. Why do you feel it necessary
Yeah,
to wear a mask? Like, who are you preventing transmission to?
I mean, to be fair, I work a drive-through. A lot of those people come through my drive-through in cars. with masks
Yes,
on.
I can see if you're going to interact with the public, but you are at a fucking stoplight.
The
in
worst part is
Springfield.
they actually come to the drive-through, then take the mask off so they can talk to you. And that's
Right.
my favorite.
Well, you
Literally
got
the
to
exact opposite of what's supposed to be.
I'm like, hang on,
You got to take
this is backwards.
you got to take your mask off to make eye contact.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's impersonal. and You don't want to
Yeah,
be
that's
That's
impersonal.
the other mask you're thinking of, Blake.
Like I keep driving with my mask on, like full mask, and I keep crashing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like
Fucking car.
these are
accident.
things that are supposed to be safer. And
Yeah.
there's just been more dangerous for me. It's crazy. I can't believe that they would okay these.
So maybe not eye visor. Like,
Dangerous.
Twice. I just sense where the COVID is.
I can see everybody else has their like face mask on, and Wormlax has like a full body latex clown mask that
All right,
he's
whoa,
wearing
whoa, whoa,
everywhere he
whoa,
goes.
whoa.
Like
At least a Hannibal Lecter mask. Come on.
it's like, oh fuck, he already drives an ice cream truck with missiles on it, like the dude in Twisted Metal. Like we all anyway.
Just gotta
Tempo
maximize,
plays.
dude, while you're
Tempo
out.
plays?
Yeah, we were talking
Or
about
T
T.
plays?
We were talking about T. Timing,
Time-
enable.
I
Time
hate
for
this
the
acronym,
team.
I'm just going to say.
Yeah.
I
All
love
right.
it.
Hey, I'll tell you this. We're gonna start off with some basics,
Okay.
some like unsweet teas, and then we're gonna move into the juicy shit, the sweet teas.
All right. I'm formally announcing I'm leaving the podcast again. I'm sorry.
All
It's
right.
already-
It
it's
was good
already
having
done.
It's good having you. So,
Sweet
guys,
tea, I hate
Speaking of sweet tea, Blake, did you bring that for the podcast?
sweet tea?
Oh,
I have
that
some.
was code for something else.
Yeah. That's why I said I was gonna have to go get it because I forgot
I
it.
see. Okay, all right.
So I will do that in a
We'll do
minute.
this
I'll
first.
let you guys talk, and then we'll do that
Fair enough.
after
fair enough.
this. I'm gonna round out the
I don't
podcast.
mean to rush your tempo, okay?
No.
Move on.
I'm going to round out the podcast. You start strong. We introduce Wormlax. We talked about all that. We had a
That's
little
starting
discussion
strong?
and a diatribe. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then we have the meat. We talk about tea, and then end strong with the
Excellent.
special surprise. That's the
Excellent.
idea. So I'm hooking them
I don't
in
want to. I don't
to
want to
figure
spoil
out what the fuck I'm talking about. They're gonna have to sit through this shit for another 40 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
That's where you get them. You see? Okay, so timing enabled. I forgot what the A stood for.
Actions? I don't know.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Advantages. Wasn't that it?
Advantages.
And it just
Was it advantages?
time-enabled
Assessment?
advantages.
Yeah. Okay.
Advantages.
So, T's. So here's what's gonna happen. Like something happens, right? Like, oh, we got a double kill bot lane. Oh, what? The next question that should pop in your mind is literally, what can we do now? Right? Like, what happens? So, for example, first check is you're gonna need to take in some information, right? How much life do you have left? How cleanly did you kill the other people? What cooldowns do you have? Where is the jungler? Where's the mid laner? Does the top laner have teleport? Right? Like all these things are important questions. If those people came, could we still 2v1? Right? Like, and this is just from the perspective of bot lane because that's what I know the best. But sub
Right.
in whatever your particular role is. So, like for top lane, the biggest question would be was, does my opponent have TP? Are they going to come straight back into lane? Do I push the
Right.
wave? What do I need to do to get the most out of this situation, right? And so for bot lane, a lot of times it's going to be like, where's my jungler? Where's their jungler? Do I have enough health? If their jungler shows up, are we insta dead? Right? If my jungler is nearby or my mid has prio, can we take dragon? Right? Do I just push for tower plates? If so, how many?
Right.
Right? Do I just straight up back? Because here's the thing. The lower the elo you go, people go like this. Hooray! Back. Right? Like, I won! Back.
Back to base to spend the gold.
Yeah, back to base. I'm
Yep.
going to spend the gold and I'm going to come back with a 300 gold advantage. Okay, so you have 300 gold advantage. That is almost a longsword. So let's say that you get your long. I'm going to round it out. Let's say you get 350 because you got some big dick energy and you finish off the minion wave, right? So you got 350. Now you're going back and you're getting you're going to get a sword. You're going to get that sword. It's going to be with 10 attack, and you're going to come back and your attacks are going to do 10 more fucking damage, and you are awesome.
Insane.
Yeah, the problem is in bronze, 10 AD does not determine a lane for shit.
No.
Like
I mean, honestly, in any elo, it doesn't because CC is more important with the bot
right,
lane.
sure.
So,
But the higher the elo you go up, the less susceptible you are to CC because you're going to position better.
for sure.
And if you're in bronze, iron, silver, gold, it's literally who makes the first mistake, steps out of line, gets boom boomed, they die. Because generally, deaths in a 2v2 lane is about who got hit by CC long enough to get dogpiled with damage.
Yep.
And if you get them, they die. Doesn't matter if you had 10 AD if you don't get to shoot.
Right.
Right? So, if you back and you bought that money, what do you get for it? What do you get out of that meaningful advantage? And, if you don't stay and you don't get EXP, or you don't stay and you don't get plates, or you don't get dragon, or you don't get any of those things, then how much advantage do you really have coming back into lane? Because I think at some point, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, I'm going to have you jump in, but at some point, even bronze and silver bot lanes will go, oh, I'm 4-0. We've both killed them 4 times. We can just do whatever we want. Right? Like, even at that level, at some point, you go, I'm fucking huge. They cannot fight me.
Pressure anything.
Yeah. Right. So, at some point, a realization hits that it's like, we're strong. But what I'm trying to say is you can go back and you can spend your marginal incremental gold to get a marginal incremental amount of increase, or you can use the fact that they are dead for X amount of seconds to gain a little bit more off the table, right?
Right.
So let's talk about that. What are some of the things you've just killed your opponent? What lane are you in first?
I think the biggest one that see people don't take advantage of, and I forget to sometimes, if you kill the enemy laners and you feel like you're like right on the edge of taking a tower plate and not taking one, there's not enough people who push the lane in, get the tower plate low enough to where it will take from minions, and then walk away. If you're in that first bush that's still near the enemy tower, when the tower plating goes down, you will get the gold if you were the one that pushed that in.
Okay, so stop right there. If you are in the first bush,
Yeah.
if you are any further away, you are giving up local gold.
Yep.
So, like, I have seen people conversely get a double, push the wave in, there is a sliver of health on the tower, and they recall.
Yep.
And I'm like, you just gave up 120 gold. Like, what are you doing? You know,
Gotta
even
make
if it's
sure.
just the ADC walking in, you're going to get a pile of money from that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if it's the ADC in the sport, it's like 80 gold a piece or some shit.
Yep.
Like, I want to say it's 120 or 160. I don't remember.
It's
but
160 per plate.
yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, that being said, like, hell, man, you just gave up a pile of gold. That's half a kill.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I literally told somebody in Platinum solo queue last game I played, what are you doing? Get over here. Like, there's a
Right.
ton and they said, whatever, we got the plate. And I go, no, I got the plate.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, nah, we got it. And I said, dude, it's local gold.
Yep.
You have to be within a range. He goes, you do? Seriously.
The
Flat
only
solo queue.
the only thing that'll get you the plate gold that isn't near it is if you Rift Herald. If you're the one who placed Rift Herald, it will actually give it to you no matter where you are in the map,
Right.
but that is the only thing. So if you ever push a wave in, if you ever want some turret plates, make sure you stay at least that first bush away from tower near the turret. And really, I think it's a big thing that people don't do, and I don't do as often, is like taking advantage of that fact that, like, if you're worried about, oh, I'm not sure if I'm going to get a back off before they get back, like, leave that turret with like a quarter of the plate left if you have a full minion wave, and it will take that last bit of the plate, and you will get the gold if you back like within the range of it. Like, you might have to, I mean, that's a subjective thing. Sometimes you might have to say, okay, like, I'm in danger if I back here. I can't just stay here for this. But in that situation, you shouldn't be going for the plate altogether anyways. So
You don't have a timing enabled advantage on the plate because you will die.
Mm-hmm.
So that's off the table. So you should be doing something else. And if something else means recalling, sometimes it does. I'm not saying recalling is bad. I'm saying recalling is at the bottom of the ladder of things that you could do. Right? And I do also want to shift gears a little bit on this conversation because I want to bring in like a bigger picture and like zoom out a little bit on what I'm talking about. So whenever I say timing enabled plays, what I'm talking about is like anything that is affected by travel time of people, right? So we got a double kill. That means they're going to be out of the game for X seconds, and then it's going to take them 20 seconds to walk back to lane. So I have X seconds amount of time, and then I have to walk back 20 seconds from lane, right?
Right.
You can also get those plays from just seeing somebody on the wrong side of the map, right? Like, I'm a jungler, and I see them fail a gank bottom or succeed bottom. They just show bottom, and I'm on the top side of the map. I know that I have an enabled play to just walk into their jungle and take as much crap as I can in the 30 seconds it's going to take for them to finish that fight, recall, and walk there.
Yep.
Right? Well, it'd be longer than 30 seconds, but I have time to clear their jungle. And so I could counter jungle, or I could take Rift Herald because I know they're not going to be on that side of the map, right?
Yep.
Or let's say that we just had a trade at Scuttle and they're at 10% health and I beat the piss out of them. Cool.
They're still gonna have to recall.
They're still going to have to recall. They can't contest me, so I can show up anywhere else and do anything else in their side. So I have a play that's more of what Double was referring to as tempo. What I'm talking about is timings, right? So Zill and I were in a game like not too long ago, and we had just taken a dragon or won a team fight or something. Won a team fight and take a dragon, I think is what we did.
We took dragon, but we also killed them at dragon.
Yeah.
Right.
So we won a team fight at dragon. We won it clean, like 4-0 or something like that. Right? Like
I think we picked 2 off and maybe we lost 1. But there was 4 of us up and 3 of them up. Their jungler wasn't up. Like it was a supreme advantage.
So and all the waves were pushed, and because the people that were important or strong were down, we could basically just go take a Baron. So I'm pinging Baron. I was like, if we go now, we can take this Baron. And so what our team did, and for those of you who listen to the show, I'm going to try to describe this as best as I can, but it's basically a triangle, right? So dragon to Baron, walking down the river would be like the hypotenuse of that triangle. What our team did is they walked towards second tower, pushed in the wave, and then walked back up to Baron. Okay, and I mean, whenever I say pushed in the wave, I don't mean they took time doing that. They literally just threw abilities at the wave to shove it and then left. They did it as they were moving by, like a drive-by shooting kind of a deal, right? So they did that, and then they arrived at Baron. That movement probably cost us 7 to 10 seconds. So we start focus firing the Baron. We get it down to about 2,000 health. The enemy team shows up. Our team goes apeshit. There's not a clean call to get on the Baron and finish it or get off of the Baron and fight. Some people do this. Some people do that. We all end up getting wasted, right? And then the inevitable comment comes that Baron was a bad call. Cool. Let's dissect that, though. Timing-wise, if we had not walked there on the edges of the triangle and instead had walked to the hypotenuse and gone straight to Baron, we would have arrived 6 to 10 seconds earlier. Does it take 6 to 10 seconds to do 2,000 damage to a Baron? Sure doesn't. So we would have been done with the Baron and then 5v3ing the remainder of their team, or 4v3, whatever, it doesn't matter. The remainder of their team cleanly, had we have just quickly made the play. But because we didn't, we overstayed, which is kind of the opposite of these like timing enabled plays that I'm talking about, right? So like a lot of times I think when people do these plays, they forget to calculate that they have to return to base and then they have to return to the map, right? So like this, we can push an inhibitor because they are down and their death timers will be up at, like they have 10 seconds left on their death timers. So we can push this inhib and take it. But if we do that, we'll have to recall and then we can't defend the dragon or the Baron, right? So if the other team is smart and they go directly there, that objective is down before we can get back and respond because it's going to take us 6 seconds to recall and roughly 25 seconds, 20 seconds to get to Dragon or Baron from, well, if you do it at level 1, it takes about 25, 30 seconds to get from base to Dragon Pit.
Right. Yeah, I think that there's a lot of people, and I'm guilty of doing this sometimes, like with timing advantages, 2 seconds can make a difference. So, like you said, with those players, when they were trying to go to Baron, instead of just going straight there, they threw some abilities at a wave that cost that 2,000 damage that allowed the enemy team to get there. That happens like super often in the league. Where, if you're like as a jungler, I'm just gonna finish this buff before I gank this lane. I'm just gonna finish this one thing before I go here. Like, if you like get that gut feeling where you're like, man, I'm kind of overstaying for something before moving to the next objective, like just go right away because timing is everything. Back in the day, I remember hearing something. I forget which pro said it, but there was a pro that said that like movement speed is the most important stat in League of Legends. And at the time, I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Like, there's way better stats that like do more for you.
It's why they like to nerf base movement speed on junglers when they're
Yep.
too strong.
Yep.
That's for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, the difference of actually being somewhere compared to not being there at all, right? It doesn't matter what other stats you are if you are not even there in the first place. The most stats you can bring to a fight are actually being there.
Yeah, I think when they nerfed Vi's movement speed, I think by 5 or something like that, like it was just like she was in A+ tier, right? And she just moved down to B or C tier like almost immediately. It was just like, wow, that's insane that would do that much.
Yeah.
But yeah, movement speed is huge. That's one of the reasons I love playing fast characters. Like, it gives me more room to make mistakes like that. The thing is, what I end up doing is I end up baiting my team into mistakes like that because I can be Zill. I can go clear a wave and then rush to Baron and it's fine. And plus, I'm not doing a lot of damage to Baron anyway. But like, my ADC needs to fucking book it and be there at the first auto attack.
He needs to book it so hard they give him a personal pan pizza.
Something along those lines. Yes. Mushroom pizza.
No, I don't know. I'm probably the only one old enough to get that fucking joke. When I was a kid, we had the Book It program.
No, I remember that.
You read enough books and Pizza Hut gave you a little pizza?
Right? Or yeah. Okay. No, that was Pizza Hut. Yeah. Got it.
We got rewards. I don't remember there ever being a pizza one though.
Oh yeah, it was a personal pan. Ours was like you read like X amount of books and you would go to Pizza Hut and turn in your Book It card, and then they would give you like a kid's pizza for free.
Pizza Hut was like good then, right?
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, it was good.
Memory of
it was good.
Way better than they really were. Okay.
Like, by the way, Casey's Pizza, really good, underrated, probably the best pizza that you can just buy commercially right now.
I don't think I have Casey's Pizza.
I've never heard of that. What is this?
Yeah. They are near you.
Me?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a Casey's in like Shawnee. Go check that shit out. Order yourself a Casey's pizza. I used to live in Shawnee. That's why I know there was one there.
No one goes there.
But yeah, Casey's General Store. It's a gas station, but they also make pizza, and their pizza is fucking good.
Gas station, that instills you with
I know. It instills confidence.
No. The best barbecue in Kansas City comes from a gas station.
Also comes from Okie Joe's, baby.
I believe.
Okie Joe's Shamrock gas station. That shit's amazing.
My coffee shop is modeled after a gas station from the 1940s. So,
we love our gas stations in mid-Missouri.
We do.
So,
anyway, our culture is big.
But yeah, dude, check out Casey's Pizza. Get yourself like a beef, right?
Okay.
And just, I mean, it's good. It's real good.
All right.
Just good pizza.
I'm
just telling you, get it done. Like, and you can thank yourself when you're like, damn, this really is the best like commercial pizza you can buy. This shit's amazing. And whenever I say get it, go pick it up. Right? You pick it up in your car, you get the pizza in the box or whatever, eat a slice in your car. Don't even get home. That shit is on fire hot. Like melted cheese, you just it's amazing.
Nah.
Like
the pizza
melted
from the Goofy movie.
Yes. Like that. It's amazing. I'm just telling you. What?
Yeah. Pizza the Hut? No,
oh yeah, okay, yeah. You're delicious.
Trying to make a grosser reference. There we are.
You did it.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So
I know Mel Brooks at least.
As we have gotten slightly off track, as we are wont to do around here on the LOLA podcast. So whenever we're talking about these kind of timing enabled plays, they can literally be anything. It can be anything from an ace or a kill or I just took this thing or I saw somebody over there. I mean, it can literally be anything. So whenever I'm talking about these kind of plays, what I'm talking about is an awareness of how much you can do versus how long it would take you to relocate on the map to a place to defend the next thing that they're going to do. Right? And TP factors into this.
Right.
And the biggest factor for this type of advantage and the people who do it best and know it best are split pushers.
They have to, because the first time they fuck it up, they get flamed so hard.
Yeah, they
They
figure it
lose
out.
the fucking game, or they learn.
Yeah,
They learn the goddamn lesson.
they figure that shit out real quick. So, I mean, the reality is basically this. Like, that is your whole strategy, is
Yeah.
these kind of advantages. Because you're like, if my team is over here and I'm pushing up here, how long do I have to push? How much vision do I have down? What's my early warning system? How long will it take them to get from there to the place that I want to be and defend it? Can they do that? And if the answer is no, they can't, then I keep pushing until I make them respond to me. And then that creates an advantage on the other side of the map for your team to do the same thing. Right?
There's one situation I see a lot that actually ties into that split pushing that people don't play correctly, which is if you have a split pusher on the map, make sure you, especially in like later game scenarios where you're pushing like inner turrets or inhib turrets, make sure that they have their pressure before your 3 or 4 man squad is also pressuring. That's a really important timing one, because I'll see a lot of people, they pressure a tower as 3 or 4, they get all in as a 5-man team, and then you see the spam pings come out on the split pusher who hasn't taken the turret yet in the other lane. And it's like they just started pushing the wave before they get to the tower. And
That's
it's
a
like,
huge issue in solo queue. You're absolutely
Yeah.
right. I actually think that's one of the advantages of playing with the LOLA community, is playing with 5 people that you know in norms. Because if you play with the split pusher like Endeavor or even Derp, right? Like him talking to you and explaining to you where he is, like with like in that process, and like don't engage, back off, that kind of stuff, can really start to help you develop that instinct if you don't have it already in solo queue. But yeah, that's a huge thing that people don't do if they don't actually play with other people a lot, or if they don't have comms a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're pressuring a tower while your split pusher is still pushing their wave in, you are not going to get the pressure you want off of that. And then when your team dies in mid and you think, oh, at least we'll trade for this tower, and then they haven't traded for it, and then they're backing off, and you're like, why are you backing off? It's like, well, now you guys are dead, and he doesn't have the pressure to continue that push. So
right.
Understanding those timings is really important when it comes to split pushing.
And like, there's I'm going to bring up a toxic couple champions, but basically, like, if there's a Yumi on the other team, right? If they have a lot of movement speed in general, then you need to really think about those timings a little bit differently, and like your instincts might not be as attuned to what you're up against. For instance, I recently went up against a blue Kane with a Yumi on him the entire fucking game, and there was no downtime if he was up. Like, it just, he had to be dead, and Yumi had to be dead in order for us to make sure that we could actually get anything. I have a question for you, Blake, specifically about this, because, when we talk about these sorts of things, we think about big calls like Barons, big calls like Dragons, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what are some of the lower tier things that you can grab if, say, I don't know, you're behind, or like, what is available? Okay, we just got something, but we can't take Baron because Baron's not up, or Dragon's not up or whatever. What do we do?
Okay, so bot lane, I'll answer first, and then we can go to each other one and see what the kind of hierarchy is, right?
Sure.
So off the top of my head, because I have not pre-prepared for this answer, in bot lane you're looking for things like tower plates. You could do deep warding with your support because you can roam together as a pack and safely deep ward their jungle. You can put down pinks at key points in their jungle and like set up a pink wall so you can kind of see if and when they're coming, because keep in mind bot lane is like a gangbang. It's bang bus down there. Right? Like, we are the
fucking orgy. Got it.
Yeah, we are the underpaid, drug addicted woman who's made poor life choices and ended up in the bang bus this season. So it's like low elo, like low exp.
I think you're describing that as low elo.
No, I meant to say exp. I just say low elo so much that it just that's where it went. But like, no, we have that exp disadvantage this time around where everybody gets to have more exp than we do this season. So it's like we're just targets this season is what it feels like. So that vision wall, especially if you got a double kill, if you shat on the other bot lane, you're going to be targeted. They're going to roam to you. Find out that they're doing that before it becomes time to cry about, we're getting four-manned in the bot lane again. Like, no, like put up that wall of vision. That is a realistic objective you can go for. Or you can steal a jungle camp or two. There's nothing saying you can't counter jungle or you can't take the scuttle crab in the river. That thing's still good gold for you. You know, you could do that. Tower plates, I've already talked about, I think. Roaming, right? So, like, a lot of times my ADC will recall after they get whatever they want out of this scenario, and I still have a lot of health. I can roam. I can roam and make a play and still be back on time to affect my ADC's return to lane.
Yeah.
Right? Because odds are I'm going to have Moby boots. So it takes me less time to travel the distance back to bot lane. And so then I've got about 10, 15 seconds to dick with where I can go mid, affect a gank. If it doesn't work, cool, I recall. And I've taken an opportunity to generate something out of my push. Right? So that's kind of where my head, those are the ones that I can come up with like off the cuff, right? If you're in jungle, the things you're looking for is like, okay, do you see them on the other side of the map? Can you invade their jungle? Can you place vision in their jungle? Because then you can counter jungle more effectively and you can counter gank more effectively because you know they're going to go gank top or whatever, so you can be waiting to fuck them up there. Or, you know, if you are not a duelist or not a 2v2 winning champion, like it's a bad matchup, you can at least warn your guy he's about to get bang bust. Right? I'm going to keep using that. I like it. Anyway, so like, yeah, you see
It's
something like
somehow a cross between like something sexual and the stock market. Like I'm
have you never heard of bang bus?
I don't know. It sounds like a cross between two different terms.
All right, so
like
let me
gangbusters and gang bang, right?
Sure.
It's
Never mind.
It's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah, like I think that like you should watch a cooking channel I know. It's called Two Girls, One Cup, where they measure out different things.
Shut up.
And you just go to that site and check it out. You'll love it. So anyway, Bang Bus is the bus equivalent of a website that does the same thing on boats. And that website is called Captain Stabbin. If that gives you an impression. Captain Stabbin is Bang Bus on boats. So there you go.
I've not heard of the boats one. That's new to me.
Yeah, that one's a good one.
I'll make sure to do some scientific research.
But, yeah. So anywho, now that we've got that out of the way, so like jungle, you're looking to say like, okay, they're up there, I can do all this other stuff down here, right? Or they're up there, I can also be up there. Or, you know, can I take dragon? Am I close enough to be able to do that? Can I take rift without them noticing, right? Can I place vision? Can I do these kind of things? If you look at kind of what jungle is going to get and what like support is going to get, it's largely the same thing. Can I roam? Can I execute a gank? Can I take any of these camps? Can I lay vision? Right? If you are mid, your main two are going to be tower plates, assisting your jungler and taking a big objective, or roaming. Right? So like if I play any champion that can roam and my opponent backs, I have 30 seconds to go dick over one of the other two lanes. And I look at which one is more pushed up, and then I go to that one. And then
there's
Captain Stabbin.
Spicy topic we haven't talked about with timings yet that I know everyone loves and is very...
Oh, hold on. Top lane, TP play is the additional thing that you would add to top lane. All right, go ahead.
But if you're running TP, you should always be looking for TP plays. But anyways, wave management when it comes to your back. A lot of people, I think this has gotten better over the years with, like, obviously League, the longer it goes, the more info is out there. But do not leave your wave, like, near their tower without pushing it in. The easiest, like, wave management I can teach in like 2 seconds is just if you need to get a back off and you're safe to do it, push the wave into the tower. Because the second you push it into the tower and it resets, the next place it's going to bounce to is the middle of the wave. And if it doesn't bounce in the middle of the wave, if their minions stay on that side, it's going to bounce back to you eventually with a slow push.
Right.
So
So
the best,
I will tell you that is what he just said is effective advice all the way through to like low diamond.
Yeah.
I mean, and then the reality of it is that, and I'm not trying to throw shade, it's overly simplistic, but it is enough to get you through to low diamond.
Yeah, it's crazy because you can learn wave management in like 2-3 minutes, but most people don't do it, and it can literally change a 300 gold lead into a 1,000 or 1,200 gold lead if you know how to wave management, because you can screw over the enemy team so hard based on waves.
And okay, so you always see these lanes that have like 30, 40, 50 CS lead, right?
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's how they're getting that kind of a lead. Yeah, and
Yep.
particularly whenever it's like I'm 0-0 and down 60 CS. Like you go, oh damn, that dude's getting bullied. Like no, that dude's getting zoned.
Yep.
Or bullied. And because
Bullied
he's
into
been
being
bullied,
zoned.
he's being zoned. I mean,
Yeah.
those things can go hand in hand. You can either do it by physical force, like I beat you in a trade and you can't trade with me again or you're going to die, or you can do it by step forward. This is my land. If you
Yeah.
enter into my land, we will fight and you will probably die, right? Like it can be accomplished multiple ways. In every elo lower than diamond, it's mostly just the physical force. Like I can kill you with damage right now, and then so you have to back off.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
you know, in diamond, it's mostly like that flips. And whenever I say diamond, I'm not talking about diamond 4 or diamond 3, because even in diamond 3, people did not understand minion wave control. They just didn't pay attention to it, right? And in diamond, like higher diamond, like when I was in diamond 3 in a season that had diamond 5, right? That's when you started seeing wave manipulation being the thing that won games.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say, yeah, it's fucked up because you could apply that in silver, or you could apply that in gold. No one does.
Right.
But and it's a concept you have to spend some time learning, because if you push in a double wave, like I have 6 casters and 4 melee or something, right? That will not bounce back and reset to the middle. It will take the tower too long to kill those, and you'll end up freezing kind of right outside tower,
Yeah.
right? So you have to be aware of exactly what you're shoving to the tower, what its capacity is, and where that shit's gonna hit. But general rule of thumb, I completely agree with Warmlax. Shove the balls out of it if you need to recall and then go back. Make sure it crashes into tower. The other thing you need to do is escort your wave into tower. As a support, there are so many times where I'm like, oh, they're pushing it into tower. I just step forward and tank it until my minions get behind me, and then I walk backwards.
Yep.
And it freezes right outside of my tower, just right nice. Cool.
And you can actually do that as a jungler too. If you see your mid laner has died or forced to take it back, all right, we're gonna lose Blake for a second here. But if you see your mid laner or top laner has died, taken it back, something like that, and they've got 3 or 4 minions pushing into their tower, hold them outside. Obviously, if it's safe to do so, hold those minions outside the turret, and they will thank you to the heavens, because that will save them those minions, and the next wave will be sitting there right in front of their tower where they're safe. And now that's a gankable lane if you come back around and their mid or top laner doesn't take advantage of what you just set up. So wave management it's a simplistic mechanic to learn. It's hard to apply those concepts.
It's one of the reasons I quit top lane. That's why I've been very quiet this past few minutes. Is I hate like wave management as a mini game. Like I want to be able to push the wave in and just like have it bounce back and reset and like just fuck it. But I find myself too often top lane in that position of being zoned, and usually there's that double threat of having the enemy jungler there also, or I don't know if they're there or not,
Right.
because it's like a Shyvana power farming, or if it's a Lee Sin who's just omnipresent, or whatever it is. And my jungler just happens to be very passive and never shows up top lane, but I know their jungler will as soon as I cross that river line, right? And so yeah, I get very irritated with top lane. It's one of the reasons I quit. I do find that freezing or like wave management happens mid lane, right, to a certain extent. But with mid lane, there's so many other things for me to do. It's just like, well, fine, I'll just leave, and like I can be back in a jiff. It's no problem. And if you get a tower plate or two, it's fine. I'm probably going to kill both your people bot. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to be in lane. I can just go anywhere and do anything. Whereas is top lane is just kind of like, I guess I have to do the chore of shoveling away here while everyone else just gets to fucking bully me. I hate my life. I hate it. Yeah, not a fan. Like when I start getting bullied top lane, I usually go Teemo in that case, and I just start Q maxing because like I'm gonna fucking just ping your ass every time you step out in front of both minion waves. But yeah, I think mid lane, as far as answering the question goes, as far as finding out what you have to do, vision's a big part of it. I think vision is such a responsibility of the mid laner as it is the support, taking that pink ward and finding it somewhere to put, either defensively or offensively. In the pixel brush is fine, but like there are other more interesting places to place your wards. And I think getting that vision and figuring out, what best helps your jungler with your vision, like what objectives they're both going to be trying to go for, which scuttle crab or which buffs, is hugely important there. And that's the one that I think is like hugely missed by mid laners because like a lot of times you don't kill the enemy mid laner, right? But the enemy mid laner backs. And because you're playing a control mage, your auto attacks aren't necessarily going to get the tower plate, right? And maybe the bot lane is not in a position to roam. Get your goddamn vision. The vision's going to help your jungler. If your jungler's doing well, you're going to do well as a mid laner. You two are like the people who can really rotate and make plays happen. So,
all right. So I think we've wrapped it up about the topic. Do you guys have any last thoughts on T plays?
The one last one I have is the hierarchy of objectives in League of Legends. I know we've talked about it before, way back in the day, but it goes Nexus, inhibitors,
sure,
Baron, Dragon, Towers. I think
Nexus towers.
Well,
I think it depends on the tower, friend.
It depends on the tower, though.
Also, you forgot Nexus.
I said Nexus first.
Oh, he said Nexus first.
Yeah, I said Nexus first.
Okay, I was re-syncing my headphones at the time, so fine. I'll let that slide.
Let it slide.
All right.
So, always consider that hierarchy if you aren't sure. Just kind of go through a mental checklist if you're trying to think, okay, what should we do here? We got kills. What do we do next?
Sweet. Okay, with that, we are going to round out the podcast with your secret surprise moments, brought to you by our Patreon supporters. This week's shout out goes to Logan Schlamp. Thanks, Logan. We really appreciate your support. And you're the guy this week.
Way to go, Logan.
You are the best.
Hey, look at you. Look at us.
You're the best around. No one ever gonna keep him down. So,
beautiful.
The surprise brought to you this week by Logan Schlamp is Zill sent me a gift in the mail.
I did.
And I wasn't expecting this. I mean, well, except that he told me, hey, I sent you a gift in the mail. You should check your mail. I was like, oh.
I said I drunk bought you something on Amazon.
And he did. So I was thinking, what could it be? Like, what possible product could Zill have bought me, or at least that he thought of me while drunk and thought this would be a good idea. So I open it and I'm like, it's kind of heavy. Wonder what this
Yeah,
wonder what
it
this
was
is.
heavy.
And it comes in like this big box, and I kind of shake it, and it doesn't really make any noise or anything. And I'm like, well, I guess I got to open it. So it's marked fragile, and I was like,
Fragile.
what? I was like, what the fuck is
Fragile.
it? I was like, what the fuck is this? So I go and I get a knife and I very carefully open it because I don't know what kind of fragile thing that he got me. And it looks like a whole bunch of bubble wrap. And I'm like, bubble wrap? What the fuck is this? So I go and I like remove the piece of tape and gently, because it's this fragile, you don't know what it is. So I gently kind of unroll and I get 6 of these. Sweet corn soda by Lester Fixins, right? And so, for any of you podcast listeners that have listened long enough to know that I went on a 3-episode rant about what's new with corn at one point in time, that has become a Lola meme. I got sent sweet corn soda by Mr. Lexer Fixins, and Zill asked me to do a review of it live on the podcast. So I'm going to crack this baby and take a swig and tell you. But before I do that,
I'm so excited.
let's have a first impression of the product and kind of what's going on. I have refrigerated this particular one for 2 weeks just to kind of keep it frosty, because we were going to do this last week, but then Zill did the solo, so, and Wormlax wasn't available. We had some scheduling issues, so we decided to push it back a week. So my first impression, if anybody, you can see the bottle here. First things first, Mr. Lester Fixins, if that will actually, here, let's do that. Maybe it'll go to his face instead of mine. Anyway, Lester Fixins is a creepy looking son of a bitch right off the bat. He looks like a severe grandfather that's disappointed in Orville Redenbacher. Right? Like, that son of a bitch wasted corn on his shit when he could have been making soda. Right? Like, that's what this man's face says. And I regret that you can only see a blurry, pixelated image of Lester Fixins. But that's what he is, right?
Like it's a KFC Colonel, right? Like had a massive thyroid issue and then
was
lost all of his hair.
completely clean shaven and had no hair on his head.
Yeah, lost all of his hair.
So not even close to the KFC.
Yeah. No, nothing the same. In fact,
right,
it looks like
same vibe,
if the KFC guy had alopecia,
something terrible, probably.
The KFC guy had alopecia.
then they would look very similar. So Lester Fixins. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that it is literally just a yellow and green background. There's there's barely photoshopping to this. It's just super plain Jane, right? And for their picture, it does advertise that they use pure cane sugar, which I think is fantastic in soda. I mean, that's what you want to use.
In sodas, generally, that's what you want to use. Also, I think it's noteworthy that a corn soda is not using
high fructose corn syrup, which was my next thought. You literally are making a soda out of corn, and you're not using corn syrup.
They couldn't double up on the corn. Maybe that messes with the.
Well, whatever. Cane sugar, I can't complain. It just feels weird, is my point. And then they have the slogan for the soda, which literally makes no sense. And the slogan is, "Y'all get your fixins." Right there, bottom of the bottle.
Get them.
Y'all get your fixins.
Y'all get them.
So, and then the other thing is that they have just ears of corn is the picture on the bottle. And I think, being as I have taken a swig of this already once in the other bottle when I first got them, I was on the phone with Zill. They picked ears of unshucked corn to give you a real insight as to what it is you're about to drink. Okay?
Oh no.
No. That is kind of the first impression. Oh, and by the way, the top, the bottle cap, has zero ornamentation on it whatsoever. There's not a
save money when you can.
Lester Fixins logo or a picture of an ear of corn or whatever. It's just
when you're selling corn soda, you got to push every penny.
This is your first hint right there that you may have made a mistake in purchasing this product. So.
I
That
didn't
is-
make a mistake.
yeah.
I'm pretty fucking sure.
I will.
Yeah.
I will
Go
also.
ahead.
I will also note that it is a product of the USA. So that's nice.
Only
Thank-
the U.S. would make.
Thank you,
corn soda.
Lester. Yeah, thank you, Les. There was actually no doubt in my mind that this was a product of the USA. They really didn't need to label it as such, but it feels good. You know, feels good. I'm
They
supporting.
had a spot there. They could put it on.
Supporting.
Just real quick. There's an American themed restaurant in the UK. It's a hot dog restaurant, right? And they have different style hot dogs for each state. And like they have like a Chicago dog and a New York dog, and you might expect what those are. But they have a Kansas dog, which just has corn on it. So yeah, I think it's well known around the world that corn has something to do with the Midwest, Kansas, Missouri, etc.
Right. Well, and that's what like Lester Fixins is literally the Stan Sitwell of corn. So I think you're good.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's an Arrested Development reference. Anyway, you guys should watch that show.
It is my
I
favorite
have.
comedy
Yeah.
television show.
It's a great
Okay.
show.
So, and really give it 5 episodes before you make a judgment, because the first 4 to 5 episodes are just getting to know the characters. Then it takes off.
Yep.
By the way,
Don't
same
watch the
thing.
Netflix season.
Yes, yeah, that's true. Same thing is true. By the way, that's the first 5 episodes are, and
You
then
cut
it
out
just.
what show?
You cut out actually. What'd you say?
Community.
Community?
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
that
I
show
haven't watched
takes
that
off
one.
after 5 episodes. It gets real good. Anywho, all right. So, yeah, I was gonna say something else. Oh yeah, it's good to know that I'm supporting genuine American trolls that made sweet corn soda rather than foreign trolls. So,
It's probably one guy selling it out of
Yeah.
like a shipping container. So it's fine.
last bit of first impression is that it is literally the color of urine. So we're gonna throw that out. It's not foamy like urine, but it's
Oh, it is
definitely
poured in the glass, my friend.
yeah, it's definitely the color of jogger's piss. So that's what we're looking at right there. Okay,
Bit on the dehydrated side,
so
and there's a lot of it.
so here we go. I'm gonna crack it with my Law Office of Blakefield's bottle opener, which is ironically made for a DUI attorney.
Hey.
So did you hear the crack? There we go. I
That was
didn't
pretty unsatisfying.
didn't hear much fizzing. Don't see much fizzing. Still looks an awful lot like urine. All right, a little bouquet test. We're gonna swash it around the bottle there. It smells like corn.
Mm,
No, I mean doesn't smell like
just straight up
soda.
corn.
No, it does not smell like soda. First off, so you know how you try grape soda and you're not like, that's grapes. You're like,
Right,
oh, that's
right.
grape flavored
Flavored.
soda.
Yeah.
This is not like, oh, that's corn flavored soda. This smells like I just cracked an ear of corn. Like I just shucked that bitch. That's what that's the first thing that is the literal. I'm smelling it. It smells like I'm smelling like corn out of a pot. Like I just boiled it. I pulled it up. Yep, corn.
That's corn.
So that's first impression. Here we go.
Bottoms up.
Okay, so I had this 2 weeks ago, and I forgot. I forgot exactly what it tastes like. The first thing is that it is completely mentally confusing because I've had that taste a lot over the course of my life. Like my grandmother actually owned a device that you stuck into corn so you could hold it. It had like 2 tongs on it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
stuck it into the ear and you stuck it into the
Everyone
tip.
had those.
Corn,
Yeah.
man.
Yes.
Everyone
Nom,
does
nom, nom,
those
nom.
now.
Midwest,
no.
Everyone has those.
Everybody from the
Right.
Midwest had that. I've never seen it in a New York home.
Fair.
Probably
right?
not. Probably
So-
not. Yeah.
That's we had that. You roll the corn on a stick of butter and it's delicious, right?
Mhm.
That is the taste of this. It is just out of a pot, unbuttered corn. Like
that is
I'm like biting into an ear of corn. Like I didn't butter it because I guess I got lazy and I didn't want it to taste super great. So I was like, I'm just gonna eat this corn. So take that bite and then like chomp it in your mouth for a little bit. It moves around. You get the flavor. This is that, but it's a liquid. And it is completely mentally fucking me to swash corn in my mouth.
So, question.
Yeah.
Would it be better? Would it make the soda better if you took a spoon of butter first and then took a drink?
Ah, okay. So I tried that with when I had Zill on the phone.
It is interesting that you mentioned that word, Mike, because we've been there.
So I have
Salt
butter
on the
in,
rim, margarita,
yeah,
and a
it's like-
little butter in the garnish.
Yeah, so what I did is I took some butter. I have melted like room temperature butter in my house, and I took some butter and I thought I'm just gonna rub it right here on the inside of the glass,
Loop
like
that up.
like
Yep.
you would do like a lime and a Corona or something. I was like, maybe that would help because it would get that buttery kind of flavor in, and it did. So if that gives you an idea of what this tastes like, and that literal room temperature butter rubbed in the inside of the thing makes it taste exactly like buttered corn. Yep, that's it. But I mean, that's the other thing is like what I would most. Okay, so the disturbing part is that if I boiled corn in water and I boiled it for a really long time and I kind of got the water low, right? And you know how whenever you boil corn, it turns into that like that milky kind of yellowy water, right? That it's completely opaque. You can't see the bottom of it. And then you take the corn out and you dump the water out.
Yeah, you start reduce the water, then caramelize the sugars, and things are happening.
Right.
Got it.
So if I took that water and poured it into a glass bottle and then drank it, it would be real fucking similar to this. This, despite having Jesus, where is it? 42 grams of sugar in it.
Oh my god, that's a lot of sugar.
Fucking A! This thing is primarily sugar, and I can't taste any of it. Because it tastes like fucking corn. Like, that's the only flavor that you get out of this
There's a barbecue restaurant out there somewhere that every time they're cooking their corn, they're taking the corn out, they're adding sugar, and they're adding food coloring and then carbonation, and then they're bottling that and selling it.
And I mean,
what it is, right?
I do want to be clear about this. It's not bad. Like, drinking it, it's not bad. It tastes like fucking corn. So that's not a bad flavor. It's just like
mindfuck.
Yeah, it's like a completely confusing boner. You know, this is like sneaky cosplay in a bottle. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, who's that hot? Oh God, it's sneaky.
Oh, God,
and that's
it's
like
sneaky.
this. It's like, oh, it's like corn. Oh God, it's liquid. Why? Right?
Have you ever had the cheeseburger Doritos? Because that is a similar thing to me. If you've ever had the cheeseburger Dorito, you like bite one and you kind of taste mustard and you kind of get pickle taste. And it's like, it's not bad. It's reminiscent of cheeseburger, but I'm just like, I'm eating a
Well,
chip
no, I mean,
and I'm
I'll just
getting
tell you this.
flavor.
This is not reminiscent of corn.
It just
This is
tastes cool.
fucking corn. Like, it just is corn. Right? So, right off the bat, it's not the same thing. I'm very aware when I'm eating a flavored Dorito that it's flavoring on a Dorito.
Mhm.
Right.
This is like I'm eating corn, but I'm drinking it.
But drinking it.
And that's what's really fucked up about it. It's not bad. It doesn't taste bad. It just tastes like corn, and in a way that makes you want to puke a little.
I rarely want to just eat corn as is, so not
Well, I
really
mean,
gonna be too
I
proud to
I do love me some corn. Corn's fucking great. I like it. Throw some butter on it. Can't beat it. It's good way to round out dinner. Whatever.
Round out dinner. That's the key word. Round out. Not
Nice.
all by itself.
Yeah, not all by itself, and not drinking it through a straw. Right? Like, I'm not handicapped. I don't need to drink my food.
Out
You know,
there,
like,
there's
wasn't-
one listener
I
who all
wasn't,
he
like-
does is drink corn soda, and he's so
Yeah,
offended right now.
No, there's like one listener with like a wired shut jaw due to a boxing accident who's like, I miss corn. These sons of bitches are brilliant. Buy me some Lester Fixins. So yeah, I've tried it.
That's the end of the corn journey.
Well, no, I mean, it's actually remarkably close to what you should expect. I mean, it's just corn. Like, that's all there is to it. That's it. It's corn.
That's what it is.
So, yeah. And it's
Breaking news: corn soda tastes like corn.
Well, no, that's the thing, is it tastes like corn, but it doesn't taste like soda. That's the part that's fucking with me, because I was telling Zill this on the phone. I was like, cream is like, you don't taste cream. Like, it has its own thing. Orange soda doesn't taste like oranges. It has like a slight kind of orangey flavor, but it's very much.
I think banana flavored things is probably the best example. Like,
nothing
that is banana flavored tastes like actual bananas. Like, not even close.
That is not corn flavored. It's fucking corn. Like, it's corn. I don't know how they did it. Other than, like I said, they took corn water and they just poured it in a bottle, and then they carbonated it and apparently dumped 42 grams of sugar on top of that. For whatever reason, I do not know, because it's not necessary, because it doesn't taste sweet at all. It just tastes like corn. End of story. So, thank you, Zill. By the way, he didn't just send me 2 bottles. The sumbitch sent me a 6-pack.
I'd send him a 6-pack. I'm not a cheap bastard.
And then my wife came home and goes, what the fuck is this? And I go, oh, baby, it's corn soda. You gonna try some of that? It's good. And she's like, I am never trying that. And I'm like, you're a smarter woman than me.
Does she know who sent it to you?
Yeah, of course I had to explain that I didn't just go out and buy a 6-pack of corn soda for the fam. Like, hey, I brought home some bacon, some milk, bread, some corn soda. What was that last one? Don't worry about it. Bread.
Bacon?
Bread. You mean the bread? Every week. I buy bread. What the fuck?
Right.
Yeah.
Normal staples.
Who is Lester Fixin? And why did he send us a thank you note? Because we're the only one to ever buy this product.
We were about to go under. I was about to quit everything, but this one sale is really, I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, so this week's episode brought to you by Lester Fixin's Mediocre Corn Soda. Well, if you ever want to drink your corn, call Lester. He'll get you your fixins. Y'all get your fixins. That's what it is. Y'all get your fixins.
Y'all get your fixins.
So, all right. With that, we'll close this sucker out. Any last minute anything?
One thing.
Yeah.
Join the Discord. We've got an awesome community. People on the Discord have seen this, but if you're listening, because I'm joining podcasts again, I'm going to start doing coaching again. If you'd like coaching, all for free, VOD reviews, talk about your gameplay, do multiple sessions. I'm just trying to help people out and also get my own experience up. So please feel free to message me, Wormlax, on Discord.
That's a hell of a deal. Free Wormlax coaching.
Also, there is a channel called Coaching Requests.
There is.
True.
Hit it up. Tag that sumbitch. He'll coach you. I'll coach you if you ask. We'll do that.
Yeah, there's a few other high-level people.
I can provide weird tidbits of information about Timo and Zill, but that's about it. Don't have to do anything else.
Yeah.
Very niche.
All right.
Very, very niche.
Very specific request. All right. Other than that, we covered the tournament already. So ARAM tournament, don't forget, sign up. There's a post-it. He's literally posted it every day.
On Monday nights at 8 p.m. Please join us for those. TFT Tuesdays are on Tuesday, 8 p.m. Usually people join that channel to play those games. If you like that sort of thing, that's about it.
Oh, it's come to my attention that on Spotify, our community nights are still listed as Wednesdays. That hasn't been true for some time, but I don't know how to change that.
We're
So
working on it. We got a guy on it.
we got a guy on our best
Lester's
guy
on
on it. Yeah.
Lester's got it. He'll figure it out.
If Emil figures it
fix
out,
it.
I will send him 1 bottle of corn soda for him to drink. I was gonna say enjoy, but I know he's not gonna. So there you have it. All right. Good night, everybody.